Warning, Prospect Watch is not your average hockey podcast, and that's okay with us. Our goal is to introduce you to stars in the making from all over the world. They may not be household names yet, but we assure you they will be soon enough. Welcome to Prospect Watch.
Hello and welcome to Prospect Watch, a podcast that focuses solely on the discovery and promotion of some of the best young talent in the game today from all reaches of the world. I'm your host, Lance Green, and of course, along for the ride is my co-host, Steel. All right, but we know you're not here just tuning in to talk to us and see us talk. You're here to hear from this week's special guest, Ryan St. Louis from the United States Hockey League's Dubuque Fighting Saints. Thank you, Ryan, for joining us. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Thank you for having me, guys. It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah, our pleasure, our pleasure. So, guys, for you, those of you that don't know Ryan or his game, I'm here to tell you, all right? I'll give you a little rundown of his past history real quick so we can get caught up. So he's a 19-year-old winger who you may have heard first from him from his days of suiting up from the United States National Development Team back in 2021. Mm-hmm. Now, he was there and he showed a portion of his talents, I believe, scoring 13 goals, 18 assists for 31 points in 50 games played that year. But to be honest, me personally, I don't think that he got his full chance to show his full potential now. While wearing the red, white, and blue, Ryan had to compete for playing time against some of the best the United States had to offer. And when you're playing against guys like, or playing for playing time up against guys like Isaac Howard, Tyler Boucher, Sasha Pastrevo, Liam Gilmartin, all of those, and Cutter Gauthier, who tried to get in there as a 17-year-old, all those guys playing the same position, you know, it's just not enough ice time to go around. So last season, Ryan went to play for Northwestern University, and he played 38 games there as well as a freshman. But, you know, I just really didn't see him having the opportunity to flourish there. This season is totally different, you guys. Playing for the Fighting Saints this year, he currently leads the team in goals and points. All right. He's netted 4 goals and 4 assists for 8 points in just 5 games played thus far. And if you do the math, that's a 1.60 points per game pace right now. Now it's early, but that pace currently has him going for 50 goals and 50 assists for 100 points. Wouldn't that be nice if you could finish the season in that with those kind of numbers? But you know, let's see where the rest of the season goes for sure. But ladies and gentlemen, I think Dubuque is where this young player is finally got to get the chance to truly show his extent of his talents there, and you know, showcasing probably for all the NHL clubs in, you know, what he can do in the future for him. So with that being said, Steel, why don't you start us off by asking this young man some questions?
First of all, Ryan, I'd like to thank you for joining us, man. We really appreciate you being here, taking the time out. I know it's a little bit of a time difference and everything like that. And it's a very busy schedule with what you're doing, and games are rolling and things like that. And we've been paying really close attention to your games since 2021 when you suited up for Northwestern. Northwestern, really good school, really, you know, good school. So when your first question we'll throw at you, and we promise it'll be easy. When you're not on the ice and you're not around the rink, what kind of things do you like to do?
Well, I spend my summers down in Tampa for the most part. So I like going to the beach. I like playing golf. I like playing tennis. Just kind of being outside. I don't know, hockey are usually inside, so in the summer I like to take advantage of that.
Right.
But yeah, just simple things like spending time with family, friends, just relaxing.
Yeah. Everything okay down there? I know the hurricane, you know, came through and all that. The house is all right and everything?
Yeah, house is all right. Everything's good.
Good, good.
Yeah,
All right.
that was a scary situation with that hurricane, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Glad to hear everything's okay. So what kind of player do you consider yourself?
I'd say playmaker.
Okay.
I think I have more to my game than just playmaking, but I think that's my strength. And yeah, I try to use that and help the team win.
Okay.
Awesome. We've seen a lot of your playmaking abilities over the last year and a half, and yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good assessment. What do you think, Lance?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely see some other parts of his game starting to come out now, and just becoming more of a complete game in my mind.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Really like your shot. Really like your vision too. You have really good vision on the ice as well too. So, what do you think is one of the best qualities of your game?
I'd say my hockey sense. I feel like I'm good at shoulder checking, which allows me to know where everyone is on the ice, including the other team, and just based off of that read, making the next read where I can find my teammates or do something on my own.
Okay. All right. Well, we've heard a little bit about, the strengths of your game. What are some things that you wish to really work on and improve this season?
I'd say just being more of like a threat in the ozone, like my shot, especially. Even if it's not like actually shooting the puck, but like showing shot and maybe faking it and using something else. But just quicker in the corners, quicker, just all around. Yeah, work on my confidence, obviously, and yeah.
Well, you keep putting goals in the net there, and I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that. So now, I'm an ex-chef, so I have to ask: do you have like any pre-game meals, or like, there's anything special you like to eat before a game, or do you have like any kind of like, I don't want to really say rituals, but I mean, like, do you have like some pre-game steps that you do, or do you have like a pre-game routine or something like that?
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty superstitious, so I always ice bath the night before. Wake up. I'm not too picky about breakfast, but ideally just oatmeal and some fruit. And then pre-game is usually pasta with chicken. And then once I'm at the rink, I get dressed right to left. Like everything on my right side goes on before my left side. Yeah, that's kind of it.
It's almost like goalies, isn't it, Lance?
Hey, let's go. How long have you been doing those superstitions? Since like real young age, or just kind of picked it up as you've went on here?
I'd say like the pasta and chicken was probably like the first thing, and then just as time went on, probably the ice bath is the most like recent one.
Okay.
But I don't know. My name's Ryan, so I just get dressed right to left because it's R.
All right. So how's it been this year getting to play at the same level and the same team with your brother Lucas?
I mean, it's cool. I mean, we haven't been able to do it before. We live together in the same village. We share the same car, so I'm with him 24/7.
Okay.
And yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's his first year in the league, so I feel like I'm trying to help him as well and, get used to the pace and everything. So it's been good. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the rest of the season has for us.
Okay.
That's awesome. It's very rare that you get to play with your brother.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if he doesn't make an outlet pass to you and he makes it to somebody else, or you kind of riding him on the bench a little bit, like, hey, I was open.
No, but in practice, I can definitely ride him more than other guys.
That's funny.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense. You're the older brother, right?
Yeah,
Right.
So here's a question for you: you've played at Northwestern a little bit now? You've been with Dubuque. You've been in the United States Hockey League. Has somebody kind of taken you under their wing? Like, has somebody kind of stepped up and showed you the ropes? And if so, who was that person?
I don't know if anyone really comes to mind that's like taking me under their wing, but I mean, last year at Northeastern, I don't know, I was kind of battling for playing time, so kind of the rest of us that were battling for playing time got close just because we were either not playing a lot on the bench or scratch. So I'd say just like kind of the older guys at Northeastern that maybe didn't play as much, I definitely got closer with, and they kind of told me what their life has been like the past couple of years and how to, deal with it and, I don't know, like persevere through that. Then again, I feel like my dad has just helped me through all that, kind of, giving me advice when I need it.
Awesome.
Right.
That's great. I mean, a quick little follow-up question. Um, there's obvious choice here, but is there any like NHL player that you maybe grew up emulating or that inspires you or that you like to have you model your game after?
Um, I like watching Brad Marchand.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, I mean maybe not as chippy as him, but I like the way he plays. I mean maybe the chippiness will come, but I don't know. I like watching him play, and I feel like he's that offensive zone threat that I want to put in my game.
That's a good comparison. I like that. Yeah. I can see that.
He's pretty effective at what he does, for sure.
Exactly.
So despite you outscoring some of your above-mentioned USA teammates, for some reason, you didn't get drafted. Can you tell us how or what ways you were able to use this, what I believe to be a lapse in judgment by the GMs of the NHL, to really push you that much harder, this season and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was hard the day of not getting picks, but I don't know, I feel like I use it as motivation, just kind of like more of like a prove everyone wrong. Like I'm like obviously it hurt that one day, but the next day like the sun's gonna rise and you just do exactly like train the same way and just keep getting better. And I don't think it matters how good you are at 18. Like when your draft year is, I think it matters how good you are when you're say 22 to 27 when you're really trying to hit the peak of your career.
Right.
That's a really good attitude. I think that's the first time we've seen that type of attitude out of a player, Lance. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a rough situation. I really thought, you even outscored some of those players, not trying to take away from any of them, but I don't know why. And sometimes who knows why things happen, but it's a good outlook. And, one of the guys me and Steel interviewed from the Fighting Saints, last year went through it with Stephen Holiday. And, he fought like heck last season and had a great season and ended up getting drafted, at year one or year after. So who knows? Hopefully, things are going to go your way this year if you, continue on having the great season like you are. So,
well, I think you're in a good league. You're on a good team.
Right.
And a team that a lot of people notice. Okay. So yeah. I think you're getting really good exposure with playing through the United States Hockey League and playing with Dubuque. Right. So that's a pretty good team there as far as that's concerned. And you got some really good teammates and everything like that. And we're really excited for you guys, man. We can't wait to see how things go this year. And you said you're a little bit superstitious. And so do you work on any kind of specific drills, like when you're on the ice, or do you do anything special off the ice to like try to help improve your game, or do you have any like special kind of exercises or something like that?
You mean like in practice or like off the ice?
Like do you have any special drills that you do or something like that?
Nothing in particular, but I guess the one like thing I do is I go up and down. It'd be like the right side, so like
kind of always the right.
Always the right.
My one-timer side. Just kind of like always having my eyes to the middle and just going up and down it, kind of, I don't know, trying to vision that there's a seam there, there's somebody open back door, and I don't know. I just like, messing around with that because I know that's going to happen in the game.
Awesome.
Okay. I can kind of see that because, me being a goalie, I would always sit there before the game and really visualize making certain stops and doing certain techniques even before the game, so yeah, that makes sense. All right, here's one. Like I mentioned before in the opening, I think this season, more so than the past few years for you, you're going to be expected to be a leader on this team. You're a little bit older. You're wearing an A, I believe, this season. So I think the coach is going to look to you to be a key contributor if he hasn't already, and really be given the chance to play in any and all situations. Really, can you talk about, am I right in that assumption? And, how are you embracing that?
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a letter before, but I mean, I've always kind of felt like I could. I've just never been given that opportunity. So just getting that, obviously, it's an honor, to be picked by the coaches to, be a leader on this team. And I feel like my leadership, kind of way is more by example.
Okay.
I mean, I can be vocal in the locker room, but I feel like Riley Stewart, Max Burkholder, they've been on Dubuque for over 3 years now. So, they're more vocal in the locker room, but I don't know, I feel like just the way I go about things can, lead by example kind of thing. But, I also want to get better at, being more vocal in the locker room. So,
Okay.
It's a little bit of a learning thing, but, I'm excited and ready to take it on.
It seems like you have some good guys to look up to learn from. They're already on the team. You know what I mean? Yeah. Can you name any specific player that may be past or present on any of the teams that you've played on that you just seem to really connect with really well on the ice?
I don't know. It's weird because in Michigan, the lines were always getting changed. Like, it never was the same line. And at Northeastern, it was the same thing. Like, I was, playing with someone new almost every week. So I feel like nothing's really clicked. But at the program, he was my roommate for 2 years in Michigan and 1 year at Northeastern. It was Jack Hughes, who was drafted by LA, I believe. And, he's a great kid and like one of my best friends. So we definitely have a little chemistry on the ice too.
Yeah, great,
Awesome.
Great young player in his own right, for sure. Yeah. All right.
Awesome,
All right, sticking on that same kind of thought process, can you name one person or even a coach possibly from your past that has given you a certain piece of advice, maybe that you've been able to carry on with you to this point? A lasting piece of wisdom or something that you carry on or is instilled in you?
I feel like it's just from my dad kind of growing up. He always just said, like, go be you. Like, don't change the way you're playing based on who you're playing with or who you're playing against. Just go be yourself out there and, play the game that you know how to play. So I feel like just the simple words, just like be you, is just kind of always stuck with me.
Okay.
Awesome. That's really good sound advice. You know what I mean? It's you got to go out there and be yourself and play your game. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You gotta be able to work with the other guys out there, and they got to be able to work with you too a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's awesome. What brand of stick do you use? And do you have a curve on your blade or something like that? Or
yeah, I use Warrior. It's a 70 flex, and it's a P92, I believe.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure how the curve like name all the curve names, but I'm pretty sure it's P92.
All right.
Good deal.
All right. So I'm a goaltender by heart and played a long time as that. So I have to ask, you played both with and against some really good teams in your time. Might there be one goalie in your mind that just seemed to always have your number, or that you can never seem to get a puck past?
Last year, Devin Levi was our goalie. So
it's pretty good.
Definitely him. I don't know. He's like crazy. He's so good. By far the best goal I've ever shot on. But yeah, it's like when you score on him in practice, you kind of have to celebrate.
It's a rare occasion, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
So we know that you're trying to, improve your game and things of that nature. And do you have a favorite spot on the ice to unload a shot from? Like, where's your favorite spot to take a shot from?
Probably in the slot. I don't know, it's right in the middle, and you can kind of pick which side. I don't know, I just feel like that's where the greatest chance to score is.
I mean, right in front of the goalie.
Yep.
Right. You can take what's given right there for sure.
All day
Yeah.
long.
All right. Well, we don't want to keep you too long. So my last question before we'll give a close in here, but do you have any advice for some of our younger viewers that, are still out there chasing that dream?
I'd say don't settle. I mean that you can take that in different ways. Like you can be the best player on your team, and obviously you still shouldn't settle for being the best player on your team. You should, try to, still work on your game. And even if, maybe you're on the bottom half of your team, don't like settle for just being on the bottom half of your team. Try to work your way up, whether it's, more work on the ice, more work off the ice with your coaches, watching video, like whatever it may be. But I feel like that's definitely what can separate yourself as you get older.
That's awesome. Well, again, Ryan, I have to say thank you for agreeing to come on the show. I think you made a wise decision in taking your talents to all places, Dubuque, in the middle of, farmland out there or whatever. But,
Not quite the beach, is
right, it's not quite Tampa for sure. But,
Yeah.
I think over the past few seasons, the Fighting Saints, have not only made a name for themselves in the USHL, but they've produced some pretty darn good players as well, like we spoke about before. So, my hat's off to you. Hopefully you continue to have a great year and, hopefully get drafted at the end of the season.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it.
I just have one last question for you.
Sure.
If you weren't playing hockey, what would you be doing?
Oh, I don't
And we've
know.
got this guy to think tonight, man.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd probably still be something to do with hockey. I wouldn't be playing it, but I'd either be like coaching it or I don't know, scouting it. I don't know what else there is to do.
Yeah.
So you'd still be involved in the sport somehow, some way.
Exactly.
All right.
Ryan, it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure to have you on here, and we really appreciate you taking the time to do this. Okay, and we're trying to bring to light your game. We're trying to bring to light your skills and your talents. You know what I mean? And this is a way for us to give you that opportunity. Okay, so we're very much appreciative of what you're doing, and we're very much watching your career, and we're very much paying attention to the number of goals and the number of assists and the number of games that you play. You know what I mean? So thank you very much, Ryan, for being on the show, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right.
Awesome. With that, Lance Green is the main man, Pots and Pans co-host, and we thank you all very much for checking out Prospect Watch. This is not your regular run-of-the-mill hockey podcast, and we're okay with that. So thank you very much for hopping on. Ryan St. Louis from the Dubuque Fighting Saints, Lance Green, our host, and I'm SteelFlyers, and this is Prospect Watch, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.